to talk to you in this video about my working life in New Orleans whenever I first signed on to a top Fortune 500 company and how that worked out for me in real life and my experiences and what my thoughts were about that. So I came in feeling like I was ready for this job. I was like so excited, so pumped. And when I got there, I was like ecstatic over the moon. It was the coolest thing ever. They gave us like this awesome welcome. They're like, all right, you guys are in the top, like elite of the elite. You guys are like in like the 1% of the 1%. You guys have this job that you guys do now, and it's like playing for the Yankees was the metaphor they put. So they put it as, it's like playing for the Yankees. So that's the metaphor. I was trying to relate, and that's how they put it to us. So it's what I'm relaying to you guys. But anyway, it was us, new hires, just kind of like learning the ropes and like getting on board with this whole process and this whole company, and kind of learning the lay of the land and kind of getting on board with the way things are, or the way things were at the time, and the way things would work out as. Just kind of figuring things out together and doing things based on what our mentor told us. So it's kind of like a lot of you have to go and ask a TA or go and talk to your mentor and see what he can teach you, or go and learn on your own what you can based on the FEDG, which is the Field Engineer's Guide, and what you can learn from that and glean from that and what you can put together from that based on what resources are available and how you can use them. So it's a lot of that and a lot of how you can use that to kind of get what you need to succeed at what you want to succeed at or what you need to succeed at in real life. So it's kind of that. It's a lot of just like balancing work and like doing a lot of hard work with having the ability to just like maybe every once in a while, like when you get up for water, go to the bathroom, or over your lunch, just like say hi to your colleagues, just like check in, be like, just remember that they're human and catch up with them, and like ask how they're going and stuff like that, which is a refreshing relief and a break from anyone's day. I definitely appreciated our time spent outside of work whenever we'd go to like bars like Whiskey Proof or Barrel Proof, and we just like catch up on things, like talk about like work, but like outside of work, kind of like in a more leisurely way. We wouldn't talk about work. We just talk about like about work, and then like talk about the things we wanted to talk about, like the things that were relevant to our daily lives, like the things we liked, like movies and TV shows. Or I always wanted to talk about travel because I was so interested in travel at the time. So I'd always like try to bring up like where I wanted to go and where I was actually like bugging people like to try to know like where they wanted to go, because I wanted to like talk about travel, like, oh, you want to go there, you should do this, and like we could exchange ideas and like swap like itineraries or something like that. And like maybe if they want to go to the same place, we could like pair up and do like a backpacking duo thing or like a traveler duo thing. But a lot of that, I don't know, never seemed to work out too well, because they always seem to kind of like reject me whenever I throw out these ideas. Like, no, just stop talking about travel. No, you're being like too cocky, because like we just like just want to focus on our boring, humble lives. We don't want to like focus on anything exciting or cool, which is weird, because I was like, we have the money and we're young. Why wouldn't we want to do stuff cool? Because we have 2 weeks of vacation per year, or sorry, no, 2 weeks of vacation per year. We have 2 weeks vacation per month, I think it was. Yeah. So like, why wouldn't we want to be focusing on like cool stuff all the time? And they didn't seem to be like as on board with that, but I was kind of disappointed, because like I wanted them to be on board with that. I don't know. But anyway, I kind of got the gist that I think I don't know, I got confused for a sec, but I was kind of like thinking that well, something just like bottled my mind for a sec. I don't know. It's like I got like jarred for a sec, but it like almost threw me for a little bit. It didn't. But anyway, I got like I spent a lot of time like learning about the things like on offshore and like meeting the people offshore, which is really cool, and learning the lay of the land there, and learning about all the equipment out there and stuff. My mentor helped me a lot with like learning about the basics of the equipment, and helped me get on board with just like knowing the jargon and the terminology. And one of the other guys who was ahead of me like was a mentor, and he helped me get on board with like knowing the actual ins and outs and the intricacies of the equipment. So that was really nice. But I don't know. I ended up kind of being really kind of like I'd say, so the best way I can put it is like a morale guy for my Olympus VATs, but I can't say that specifically because I did do a lot of work too. I just didn't do as much work as the other people because I was a new guy. So like in all honesty, like whenever they throw like an assignment towards our team, it would always get picked up by the other people. So like the best assignments I could pull were like things which are like not at the highest part or of the priority funnel or the project funnel, whatever it's called, but I did manage to get enough things that I could fill up my schedule and talk to my boss and our line manager about the things that I do in my day-to-day life. And it sounded, at least like when I was talking about it, like I had enough things on my plate that I wasn't like, just wasting time and taking up time and space. So that was nice. But I don't know. I mean, the things I had to do in my day-to-day life basically or blatantly were like, it seemed to be like a waste of time because like a lot of it like wasn't just like what I was doing pertinently in my day-to-day life. But I don't know. It's just like the kind of stuff where like I don't know what was going on like on my asset most of the time, or like I don't know like what most people are doing, but like whenever I'd go out there and look around, it just looks like an asset. Like I couldn't tell by looking around like what things need to be done to improve the asset. And also it was a new asset, so like when I just go out there and like just even just thinking about it, it's like everything was already brand new. So like what can I possibly do to improve something that's brand new unless someone brings a problem to me? Because I can't just like go around and just like poke at stuff and expect to find a problem, because that's like how you start problems, and that's like the last thing I'd ever want to do. So there's a lot of me just like kind of waiting until I hear something about something being amiss, and then just kind of jumping and be like, all right, what can I do? Guys, can I help? Like, oh, what can I do for you for the team here, Or what can I do for like you guys offshore as like an engineer, that kind of thing. But I was really just like trying to find like things to do to prove my worth as an engineer and to prove that I was like worth my space on the paycheck, so to speak, because like a lot of the people that I was around like were on assets where like there was a lot of stuff going on and there was like a lot of work to be done, and they always had like big projects and like big work assignments, and on my asset it was just like, oh no, we're still just starting up the rig, so you can just hang around and watch that happen if you want. Whereas on other assets it's like, man, we got like 2 weeks to turn around, you gotta like get this Wemco up and running. And it's just like a whole different world where like they have so much stuff going on, and like they think of it as like fighting fires, and like my world is kind of like waiting for time to pass, and it's kind of like, okay, we got this MOC, now you have to go just like get this MOC through, but you have to wait on a vendor for like 2 weeks to just like come back from vacation and then get you the approval or the valve size you need to get this thing pushed through. So there's a lot of just waiting on people, which is like frustrating, because like I'd like get an assignment and I'd send out the email and it'd be done in like I'd get it done in like 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and then I'd just be waiting, and it's like, okay, so this is like still on my schedule of things to do, but I have to wait like another week just to like get the responses from this guy via email to get it like pushed down on my project funnel like towards success, or pushed up towards success, whichever way I'd put it metaphorically. But it was weird because like in my life, like not my life, but in my day-to-day work life, I guess I could say the word life. In my day-to-day work life, I'd like get a lot of things done and like be really productive. But, like I just didn't have that much stuff to do, because the only things that I had to do were like things that I could like handle like really efficiently and really quickly, and like would already be handling. But the things that I didn't need to do, I just like wouldn't be handling at all, because it would just be someone else's job. And I wouldn't like go out trying to find more work for myself, because like I didn't need more work. I just needed the work that I already had to get done quicker, and I couldn't do anything about it because I just had to wait. So that's just like what I did, is like spend a lot of my time just like waiting on other people to like finish the things they had to do, like the job tasks they had to do to get my work done, or to help my work get done. So that's like a lot of the time I spent at work at Shell was like just waiting to get the stuff like off my checklist in order for stuff to get done. So I spent a lot of time waiting on vendors and emailing vendors, but I spent a lot of time just like doing other stuff too. Like they were useful like equipment walkdowns. I'd always like, if I had free time, I'd just like go and do an equipment walkdown if I didn't have anything else to do, and just like get that checked off for like the week as like something I did, so I could just report that to my boss, like, here, I did this. It's like I was doing something. Like even if I was doing nothing at work, well, I wasn't ever doing nothing, I'll say. But even if there's nothing like assigned to me, let's say, I'd always find something to do. Like a walk down, or I'd like go and I think I'd ask the reliability engineer if I could like follow him or shadow him around and just like see what he's doing, so I could just like go and follow him and see what's up. But I don't know. I wouldn't really like find that much work, but I'd learn a lot too. So like I felt like I was like learning on the job, and I was like gaining experience. So it was like an investment in me from the company's perspective. So like in the end, it'd make me a better engineer, so I'd help them more or help them better. So I'd be a better help to them as an engineer who would be able to help them more. So as an engineer. So that. But I did also point out, or want to point out rather, that I did get along really well with the reliability engineer offshore. So I learned a lot from him. His name is Calvin. He was I don't really know much about him and his work performance, but I really just like, I don't know, I like the guy. He was a really easy guy to get along with and work with, so he was great to have offshore. He was kind of like always there if I'd like need to talk, and he was like kind of my age or close to my age at least enough so that I could relate to him more so than like the guys who were like in their 40s. It's like if I had like a problem or something, I felt more comfortable talking to him about it because he could kind of relate more because he just kind of came off from an OSC stint like not too long ago, which by the way stands for Offshore Support Engineer if you're unaware. It's like a short three-letter acronym, or TLA as we call it in the biz. But anyway, it's just like kind of something that was kind of cool because he could kind of really relate to the things I could do. So it was really easy for me to just like kind of talk to him about the things I was doing and kind of help him with the things he needed to do offshore. If he needed to like push something through, I could like do an MOC or like talk to the people onshore that I needed to talk to, or if I needed help with something that I needed to do, I could ask him based on his previous experience what like course of action he would take or what course of actions he took in the past to get certain things done, so that I could learn about like that kind of experience on the job or learn and gain that kind of experience on the job. I mean, so that. But anyway, it was really nice working with the guys I worked with. It was really nice. I didn't mention this yet, but there's a whole other group of people called the OSCs. Whenever we first started working on, and you already know what the OSC stands for, so I don't have to explain it again. But there's the actual OSCs when we first hired on. Well, we were still NTPs, is what it was called, which is New Technical Personnel. So we worked under them as their support person from the beach, as we called it. So from onshore, and anything they needed from onshore, we would get done or arrange with the VAT to ensure that it got done. So I met a lot of people from a lot of different schools, from a lot of different backgrounds, from a lot of different countries and cultures. I don't think any of them were actually necessarily foreign, but a lot of them were like foreign ancestry. So I got to meet a lot of like, I got to work with a very diverse team, I'll say. So, and yes, I think that's the best way to say it. So yes, I got to work with a very diverse team, which is very nice because it really opened my eyes to like a lot of different perspectives. Like in regards to, I was gonna say in regards to travel, but only one of them I think that I talked to really broadened my perspective on travel, but really just like opened my eyes to like how different people from different cultures view the world, which was really cool. So I really enjoyed that. And just the way they talk and the way they view things was kind of like with a lot of sensitivity that really just made me appreciate how people from different cultures just appreciate things and aren't just like brunt like Americans who just like don't appreciate culture and or value culture and just like don't get that sometimes you have to just like be aware of different people being from different cultures or from different backgrounds, I mean, rather. So that. But it was really cool. It was really cool to meet these people, and it was really cool that we got to do like hangouts instead of work. Like this one time we just met at a friend's house, played Cards Against Humanity. Another company organized a crawfish boil one time that I think I helped set up, or the guy before me helped set up before I joined NPNO, which is network. It was New Professionals Network Next, I think it was, or New Professionals New Orleans. That's what it was, yeah, New Professionals New Orleans. So I got to organize networking events for people from New Orleans, which is really fun. So that was nice. But yeah, I got to really get the lay of the land, meet a lot of really cool, successful people who were like really interesting, really smart, and really just like driven in life. It's so cool. Like, some of the guys had such cool stories of like things they'd done or things they wanted to do or just like things they do in their spare time. There's the most interesting people. It doesn't matter. Like you might think that you could like, predict the kind of people, but no. I don't even want to finish that thought, but it's just like they're the most interesting people, and they are most. Here's the thing: the most interesting in the most unique ways, but in the most different ways. So they're all interesting and unique, but they're all interesting and unique in different ways. So that's exactly what I want to say. So it's awesome. But anyway, that's all I have to say, I guess, in this video. And just I'm happy and glad that I got to work with those people. So that's just a summary of my time at Shell. So anyway, that's how that's how that was. But anyway, now you know a little bit about that and about my time at Shell. So that, and and now I can mention one more thing, and that's that whenever the oil price dropped, I think I was one of the most expendable people because I did the least amount of work based on me having the least amount of work. So whatever they had to do, the layoffs for a third of the company, I was one of the people that got cut. So, or not cut, but laid off. So, or yeah. So that's essentially how that went. But I don't know. It wasn't too much of a. Well, it was surprising to me because I didn't think I was like on the chopping block for that. But then again, like I don't really know like what their criteria was, except that I think they just had to like meet a certain amount of personnel to either keep or not. So I don't know. But I'm not too upset over it because it allowed me to do one of the things I really wanted to do, which is to travel in South America. 'cause it gave me free time suddenly to do the things I wanted to do. I didn't really like want to get back in the workplace after because it gave me like a sudden like change towards like freedom. And that was like one thing that I tried to balance, and I did balance actually really well at work, was like my personal life and my work life. So I was like a boss at work, and I got all the stuff that I needed to get done. But then in my spare time, I did like a lot of research into travel, and I love travel, and I love researching travel. So I did like a lot of planning towards places I wanted to go and things I wanted to do. So that was like one of the main things I did. But whenever I got let go from work, it was like I like really made it a priority to just like focus some time on traveling because I really wanted to get that travel bug out of my system. It was like all I could focus on. If I didn't go somewhere and do something cool and epic and adventurous, I felt like I would lose my mind. So that's like essentially what I thought about that, and that's like essentially why I felt about that, is that I just like couldn't let it like, I don't know. I just like couldn't let it subside in my life because it was just too present and pertinent. And I felt like if I didn't do something in my life, it would just kill me and I just like die on the inside. So I had to go somewhere and do something, at least somewhere on the borderline of epic, or else I'd just never feel like I was succeeding in my personal life, and I just always feel like a failure. So that's why I really took that trip, because it was really just bothering me in my day-to-day life. I didn't know what to do about it, so I ended up doing a personal trip to South America. But anyway, that's about that, and that's all I gotta say about that, is that it was, I don't know, something to do with my time. So that, but I don't know. Anyway, if you like watching this video, hearing about my time in Shell, hearing about my personal life and how I loved, well, I guess here's the thing. I did a lot of research in travel. What I was looking for is like adventure and excitement. I need something in my life that would make it more exciting and adventurous, and or like make it more alive. And I don't really know why. I just like wasn't really feeling like my life was like that exciting or alive. Like everyone else, it seemed like had something going on in their life that was like super vivid or exciting or cool. My life was like really bland, apart from like the things I did in my free time. Like I wanted it to be something cool or spectacular, but I didn't know what. So the only thing I could think of was that I wanted to make it epic. So I think for some reason the only thing that came to mind was travel. So that's all I focused on was travel, I guess. Well, I don't even, actually now that I think about it, I don't even know what came to mind. Let me just stop and think. So I guess what came to mind was like girlfriends and relationships, but there were no girls that I worked with who were single who would want to be in a relationship. So I was like stuck immediately right off the bat with no one to date. There was no other girls in my workplace that I met who were like single, who were like able to be dated. And like whenever I was like browsing Tinder, I found no girls that were like compatible to me at the time. So I was like super depressed because they all just like came from like different walks of life, but in like ways where like I didn't feel like relating. These were like completely different kind of people. Like it's not like I was looking down on them. It just like they were just like different. So maybe not different walks of life. It's not that. Sorry, it's not that they came from different walks of life. Because I actually met a really cool cheerleader that I actually didn't get to meet up with because I was actually going to Croatia the weekend that I was texting her. So I didn't get to meet up with her because I want to like lead her on and like tell her like, oh yeah, sure, we can like date and we can like, be in a relationship. Then I'll just like take off for like 2 weeks and go to Croatia, and, like never see her again. So I didn't like end up doing that. But there were like a lot of girls who just like didn't seem to like be the same like mindset and or the same kind of way as my way of life. So I just like didn't end up jabbing with them or connecting with them or getting along with them. But the girls I did, I don't know, I just didn't like end up ever getting to connect with because I was either too busy or too I guess preoccupied with my like day-to-day life and like focusing on the things that I was trying to focus on, which is like getting my head clear and focused and like being in the right meditative headspace, because I was really focusing on Zen Buddhism at the time, in a very specific kind of stoic way, like where I was just, what I was trying to do was trying to get mental clarity, in like a weird way to describe what I was doing was focusing on meditation. I don't want to get Zen Buddhism involved because I wasn't like doing it from a Zen Buddhism perspective, but I was doing meditation practices that I would associate with Zen Buddhism, because it's all about being like Zen and calm and still, and like, you know, tranquil. So that's like the practices I was doing, but I don't know if they're like, so two things. I don't know if they were ever formally associated with Zen Buddhism, and I don't, I guess, want to stick with the term associatively, that is, Zen Buddhism, because I did not do it while religiously considering myself to be practicing Zen Buddhism. I just did things that were religiously, or not religiously, but they were of similarity to the religion Zen Buddhism. So that's why I refer to it. But they were religiously similar to the practice of Zen Buddhism. So that's why I mentioned that. But other things I mentioned, yeah. Zen Buddhism religiously does involve meditation. That's why I thought of it. So whenever I think of meditation in regards to like becoming tranquil and still and stoic, like Zen, I just think of Zen Buddhism. So that's like one of the things I was focusing on in my life, was like getting my mindset very calm and clear and healthy, and really getting myself into a nice focused mindset. Because I really wanted to be focused on being a high achiever and a high performer, both in real life and my personal life. So I really kind of set that as a personal goal to incorporate all practices into my life that can make me more of a high performer and a high achiever in my real life. So that's like kind of what I was focused on goal wise. So at least I think so. So, or for the most part, I mean. So yeah, I was focusing on also reading. I was reading Atlas Shrugged at the time, so that was a really good book. I was focusing on kind of learning about philosophy. Even though I learned about philosophy a lot when I was in college, it was more about like applied practical philosophy, I guess, in terms of like maybe how it could apply to me in real life. So it's kind of like me reading Atlas Shrugged, but me reading more like novels rather than just like philosophical concepts. It's like I read like a lot of like interesting things, like philosophical concepts, like I forget, but I don't know. The only one I can think of now is the myth of Sisyphus. But which is the concept of you have to treat each day as like the daily grind and like the daily toil, I guess is the better word. So you have to like, complete the daily struggle to, get up the hill. And that's just the way it goes in life. You have to, every single day you got to get up, you got to hit the daily grind, you got to do your thing. And, that's just how it goes. So I don't know. But that was a lot of me just incorporating like, I guess more like learned novels into my life. I think I got a second book at the time, and it was Wherever You Go, There You Are by John Kabat-Zinn. And that was a really good book. So that I think is maybe the best descriptor of my mindset. So I mean, in my mind, it's very similar to Zen Buddhism. That's why I related it to it. But it's kind of like a similar kind of concept. So that's why it's similar, or conceptually. But yeah. And also, I did spend a lot of time just like in New Orleans, like learning about New Orleans things, but like, experiencing New Orleans things. So I learned like some things about New Orleans, and I met a girl from actually from San Francisco who came to New Orleans, but taught me more about New Orleans than I could have ever thought that I could have learned from anyone else. And also another girl, Andrea, who used to be my roommate, taught me a lot about New Orleans, probably more so again than I could learn from anyone else, but in a different way. And Andrea Campos taught me a lot about how New Orleans is like very interested in like the dead and in culture about that. So she was into this holiday called Dios de los Muertos, and it's all about celebrating the dead and about celebrating people's journey along the pathway to the necropolis of the dead. So it's really interesting, and I loved hearing about it because it's apparently like something that's really relevant to New Orleans, because there's like this fascination with the morbid in New Orleans. But I don't know. I never like was into it before, or was like aware of it before. But she kind of opened my eyes to it, made me realize New Orleans is a city that has more to it than just buildings, which is cool because at least it's something special on the map other than just another dot. So that's cool. But then Andrea opened my eyes to it being like a really artsy city, which is cool because at the time when I was working at Shell, I wasn't really that big into art. I mean, I got a piece of art for my wall, but I wasn't like that big into the art scene. But I really got my eyes open to art and how New Orleans is a very artsy city. So if you never were aware of that, just come check it out, and you will see very quickly that it is quite that kind of city. So keep that in mind, and keep in mind that everything you might want to be aware of in real life, you can probably figure out pretty quickly by just walking around New Orleans in the French Quarter or wherever else you decide to go. You're just kind of getting a glimpse of the city. I think New Orleans, I think the French Quarter is probably the best place for you to get a glimpse or a feel for the city. That's why I kind of mentioned it as an example, or brought it up rather, but or whatever. But anyway, I think it's the best, or I think it's the best way for you to kind of get a gist of the city, to kind of figure out what you want to see, and what you want to do, and what you want to be a part of in the city. So that. Right. So anyway, hope you liked watching this video about Shell once again. I think I tried to wrap this video up already before, but I think I'm just not doing it for the first time. But I hope you did like watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed learning about concepts in real life. They're I don't even know what I'm talking about now. But I hope you liked hearing about me talking about Shell in New Orleans. That's all I have to say. I'm Ken. Peace out. Hope you like watching this video.